to affect the quality of our education. And you all know, because you are scholars, that there is a common saying that to destroy a nation, you don't have to use an atomic bomb or to use long-range missiles. All you need to do is to lower the quality of education, and if there is exam cheating, you will have destroyed a nation. So, when I came into office, among the first things that I did, because it was important that we save our education system, I appointed a 42-person task force made of education professionals, people who had run schools and universities and colleges, people who had experience. And they took almost 8 months. And I tasked them with sorting out the issues in our education sector. These great professionals, and I have every reason to believe they did a good job. They came up with recommendations on what to do with CBC, recommendations that we have implemented, and to a great extent, we now have an aligned, competence-based education system. They also recommended what I needed to do in terms of pupil-teacher ratio, and it's the reason why I have hired 56,000 new teachers in the last 2 years, the largest in the history of Kenya. And it is also the reason why we are implementing the student-centered funding model that is aimed at sorting out the challenges that are in our universities. We are 1 year in. Last year, we admitted students using this model. And what this model has done is that we have taken the amount that we are funding our universities from an average of 45 billion shillings every year to 82 billion shillings every year. That is the quantum of additional resources we are making available both for help, for scholarships that go to our universities. The biggest challenge that universities had was that they had inadequate funds, because we promised, or government promised, that they would sponsor students, both loan and scholarship, up to 80%. But they didn't meet their end of the bargain. And we ended up with a big crisis. As I have told you, we ended up with debts of close to 180 billion shillings owed to our universities. As a result, universities could not teach the courses that they were offering to our students, and we ran the real risk of lowering the quality of our education. And as I have told you, you know what kind of a risk that poses to our nation. The new Student-centered has 5 bands. The banding did not start with this model. Everybody should know that. We started the banding in 1996. There has always been banding. It didn't start with this model. I know there is a push that maybe this banding started with this model. It did not. It's always been there. All we did is instead of having four bands, we made it 5. And we have reasons for that. And I'll explain. Number 2, the loan component, again, did not start with this model. I went to university in 1987 as a fresher. And I had So the loan component is not a new thing. It's what has always been there. It's what makes the model sustainable. What we have done is, and I want to put this in context, have about 10,000 secondary schools, 3,500 secondary schools in mostly rural areas, informal settlements, marginalized areas.
Change it.
3,000. They don't say. And a single child. to university. Whole communities, whole villages don't have a single child they send to university. It is the reason that I decided to hire 55,000 teachers to send to these schools. It is the reason why this year we're going to build 1,800 laboratories in those schools, because those schools, many of them don't have a single laboratory. Many of the students who do exam in Form 4, they meet first time a laboratory setting during the examination. That disturbs me a lot, that we have close to 1,200,000 children who go to school and they have no chance of going to university because of the school they attend.